sure everybody could definitely hear. Now it works. Okay, very good. All right, so sorry for the delay. Got to get over the first hurdles first. First things first. So without any further delay, let's rock and roll here. Today we're going to be talking about the price action scanner. This is a module from Trading Room. So as we go through it, we got a couple house rules. All right, we're going to break for questions from time to time. So, you know, as with the chat and as with the questions that are showing up on the other screen, hold them back for a little bit. Hopefully those will all get answered during the course of this. If not, we're going to break a little bit. We'll have a little Q&A, so hopefully we can answer everything from there. All right. You're only here for about an hour and change, so keep the peace. You know what I mean? We're all here to learn. We're all one big happy family. So relax, enjoy, and let's learn something. So first things first, little disclaimer. My name is Chingas. I'm not a financial advisor, right? So just so we're all on the same page about that, not be considered financial advice. These webinars are for educational and entertainment purposes only. Please trade responsibly. Nobody wants to see anybody get wrecked, all right? So what is a live Fib? Now, I got this right from the site because I felt it important to mention that we're talking about a price action module that relies on, you know, Fibonacci retracement and the theories behind it. So our assumption is that you already know what the Fibonacci levels are and how they work. Now, if you don't know, it's fine. We're going to have some more seminars like this just about Fibonacci. So bear with me for now, and then if you need to tune that package up later, you know, we got your back. We got other ones coming down the road, such as trend, moving averages, horizontal support, RSI. We got lots of stuff is coming. All right. So here we are. We're going to talk about the price action scanner. All right, it looks beautiful, doesn't it? During this, we're going to try to attack all of these modules, time permitting, but we're going to push through the list here. So, you know, here it is. What is it? What does it do? What do the colors mean? What's a Fibo period, buy, sell? This is training. So we're going to take you through, you know, every step of this module. So what is it? Well, it's two things. That's the crazy part about it, right? This first half right here that I'll showcase in a second, this is the trend tracker. And over here on the right, this is your live Fibonacci scanner, right? So the beauty about the first part that you can see trend across 8 different time frames, all right? 5 minutes to a day without ever opening up a chart. You can see the current trend going on in that time frame. So that's fantastic in and of itself right there. The second half is you'll see this section up top, and that's going to be your time period, and that's going to be your calculation period for the actual Fibo, right? So we can see it live right here, and then what we're looking at is trend that's happening 5 minutes all the way up to a day. I'm going to go over these colors in just 1 second, so bear with me. And then your time period with a peak gain that happened within that time period and the current pullback for that time period. Okay, and we can also do retrace as well for buy and sell Fibos. All right, here it is broken down into 2 separate views, just so you got an idea that yes, you know, they are separate from each other, combined in the tool itself. So break down the actual screen, you know, what you're going to see. On the left-hand side, we're going to see the exchange, right? So price action currently works with Binance and all Binance pairings, all right? Underneath that, you're going to see the time frames for the trend scanner, all right? So this is, like I said, 5 minute, 15 minute, 30 minute. Then hours, you have 1 hour, 4 hour, 6 hour, 12 hour, and then you have, you know, the King Almighty daily. On the Fibo side, number 2 right here pointing down, this is the time period that the Fibonacci will be calculated in. So, you know, bottom to top calculation, looking for a pullback, or vice versa, looking for the retrace on a sell going short. All right, this is your option here, right? This is going to be buy, sell for the Fibo. 4 right here, this is going to be your pairing. So you could do a BTC, an ETH, and a USDT pairing so far on Binance. So that is how you'll break down what coins are actually shown. And then you have your peak gain and then your buy Fibo. Take a look at it in real time. You'll see the options here, right, from 6 hour to 500 day, as far as calculating the peak gain within that period, and then the retracement or pullback thereof. Okay, this is your option to buy and sell. This will give you the peak gain or the peak drop within that time period. These are your pairings that we're looking at: USDT, Bitcoin, ETH, or all. And then on the left-hand side, this was the exchange list. So more will be added. For now, it is Binance, and we're looking at these 8 time frames. All right. So let's keep it moving here a little bit. Let's talk about time frames just for a second. Now, some of the true power behind this is the time that's saved, the amount of information you're able to see on one screen is, I don't think there's anything like it. So let's lay down that groundwork right there and talk about it a little bit more. 8 different time frames. All right, like I said, 5 minutes to a day. Current trend within that time frame. All right, and we'll go over these colors in just one second. So there's no need to pull up a chart and then cycle through 8 different time frames. You don't have to pull up your chart, and then from over here and say, all right, well, I want to look at the 5-minute chart. And then when I get that, then I got to go back over to auto, and then, I got to scroll up, and I got to do all that work, and then swing it over to, the hour, take a look at the daily. You don't have to do that with something like this. What do the colors mean? I know I keep harping about what do the colors mean. Well, here they are. It's very, very, very simple. Dark green, strong uptrend. Light green, sideways with bullish tone. Okay, sideways with bullish tone. Dark pink, quite the opposite of dark green, strong downtrend, right? And then light pink, sideways with bearish tone, right? And then you have gray. Gray is considered sideways with really no bias in either direction. It's not really up, it's not really down, it's just kind of sideways, not really doing much of anything. Okay, now, how do you interpret the color codes? Well, this is one of the great things about having a community of people that are using it. You're going to find in situations where this right here, right, I personally call it a 4x4 light. That's just me. We're going to come up with names for everything throughout the community, so don't even worry about it. But for me, a 4x4 light is 4 pink, 4 green, all light colored, all light in color. But this gives an indication of a possible pullback. So in the higher time frames, so from the 4, the 6, the 12, and the daily, you're still, sideways with a bullish uptrend, right? But in the lower time frames, 5-minute, 15-minute, 30-minute, and an hour, you're looking at a pullback. So this is an indication that, hey, maybe you want to take a look at the peak gain, depending on what you set it at. Let's say you're on a 3-day, you look at a peak gain, and your gain is, let's say, 30%, and you got maybe a 40% buy Fibo. So it's telling you you're in the middle of a pullback. This might be something that you want to pull up a chart on. You might want to take a look at this. All right. This right here is dark greens all the way up to the 15-minute, and the 5-minute. So what does this tell you? Well, this tells you have your strong uptrend, very strong uptrend, but you got the smaller time frames are starting to weaken a little bit. So you can start looking for long opportunities in a situation like this. And this was actually pulled a few days ago, and this is working out actually very well. All right, so Tron pullback on lower time frame with strong bullish trend on the higher time frame. So again, higher time frame daily is a strong uptrend. Right. Teetering back on the other longer time frames is still sideways with a bullish tone. And then you have a strong pullback here. So for those that can short, and I understand you can't short on Binance, but there are other methods to short, this will at least get you to the chart. And then you can decide, hey, do I want to look for a short in the meantime, maybe just a short-term scalp, and then that could possibly bring me to an entry to then go long. Right. And then Wabi, I threw this on here because this will be a time saver. right? This is something you don't really need to look at. It's sort of all over the place. You're starting to pull back a little bit, you know, coming in on the 12-hour chart, right? But the daily is still sideways with a bullish tone. So something happened along this line here, but you also have in the lower, shorter time frames, you're coming back a little bit. So it's kind of all over the place. I would match that up with your peak and buy Fibos to get a better understanding on what may be happening, but it may just be a chart you just don't need to pull up. What is the Fibo period and what are buy-sell Fibos? Okay, so the Fibo period is just this. You have the options over here, 11 different options as far as calculation is concerned. From, let's say right here, from a D7. So we're going to look at 7 days of history, and we're going to draw a fib, real time, live, right? And that fib will be drawn from the bottom to 7 days worth, top, and you'll find whatever the peak was. So whatever the overall gain was, no matter what happened inside of those 7 days, the overall gain is going to be your peak gain. All right. Now, your buy Fibo, this is how much has retraced from that peak gain. So to break that down into numbers that everybody loves, let's say an 80% gain on this particular asset was $100. All right, just for the hell of it. 80% retrace means that 80% you gave back, so you're left with 20. So if you can understand that concept, then you absolutely should be able to understand peak gain by Fibo. This is just simply what you've given back from the peak gain. All right. Quick example of that, you can look over here. All right. So the pair is DLT BTC. We're looking at a peak gain, 29%. We're looking at a buy Fibo around 50. So this is under the daily, right? This is the daily right here, D1. So what I did was I put up a 4-hour chart, and I took a look at approximately 6 candles back. And I said, all right, my peak gain is showing 29%. Okay, that's peak gain. This is up here, right? So this was the fib that was drawn live, you know, as price action is happening, and the pullback is currently right here at the 50. Okay, so you have to adjust to you know, the time frame that you're looking in, and then the candles that you're going to represent what's happening. So to identify trade setups, again, this is where the community comes in. I would expect not too long in the future, we're going to start having, you know, the holy grail of the 8-box banger, where it's just going to be an ideal chart to look up. And if everything else goes according to plan with that chart, with that fib, with the peak gain, with the retrace, then you could be looking at potential setups. So in this situation right here, right, you're looking for potential setups long because the 12 and the daily are giving you a strong uptrend where you have lightish sideways to bullish tendencies on the lower time frame. So you could be looking at possibly swinging back down and maybe going in for a long because the trend itself is bullish. On the other side, you could be looking for a retrace. So in this situation, the fib is the other way around. Obviously, it's going from top to bottom, and then from that situation, you're looking for the price to come back up before going back down. So that would be a retrace, so a short setup. All right, another consideration, and I think that this is very important. When you're using the module, you're using the tool, and you're going through and you find your peak gain and you find your pullback and you say, oh, this is going to be great. Let me pop the chart open, and you do, and you see this. It's very important to understand that the tool isn't dictating the trade, right? You still need to get on the chart, and you need to take a look at what's happening. You're looking at price action. So you want to know what's happened previously to the current move. So when you pull up RLC, right, you're showing that this is a chart you might want to take a look at. You pull up RLC, and then here you go, right? You already had a good pop and the pullback, right? You got another good pop and another good pullback. So that's 2 already that's already happened just on this chart. right? Come on, these two right here probably are pretty good, right? Came up, and you had a bit of a pullback, and then you had, this top over here, which is what triggered you to look at the chart. So ideally, you'll be looking at the chart minimum once a day. Not the chart, the module, minimum once a day, more than likely two, maybe even three, to get yourself familiarized with what is currently trending, how it's trending, and then you'll be looking for, say, all of those light green to start turning in the smaller time frames pink. If they start going like pink, well, then you can say, okay, you want to catch this puppy right down here. All right, we'll talk about that in a little bit. All right, so entries, targets, and stops. I debated a little bit about putting this on here because every trader is going to be different, but just for example, and this is certainly not, I'm not telling you how to trade. This is a for example. In this situation, right, we came up and we had ourselves a nice pullback, right? And that pullback, so targeting between the 50 and the 618 for entry, all right? Now, it did spike down and you ended up getting filled, and that's cool, right? And your targets, now these are, again, subjective. You can have a conservative target of a 1-to-1. You can have a more aggressive target of the 1-618. You could go all the way up to the 2-618. But remember what we just talked about when we talked about the pop already happening. Yeah, sure, you could have went big time down here. No guarantee you're going to make it. Look at what price did. That's great. If you went over here and you went, through the moon, you didn't quite hit the 2-618. Okay, you were close. But if you put all your eggs in that basket, you might not have seen it. And that's for long, that's for longs and shorts. 5618, you could consider them conservative to moderate. 618 maybe even on the aggressive side. 786 might be extremely aggressive. That's where you're really risking the chance of is this thing even going to bounce back, or is it going to continue for further losses? And like I said, so targets are subjective. Stops, again, this is based off of risk management, so I'm not gonna dive too deep into stops. You can go to a previous swing low if you're going long. You can go to a further fib if you want. So if you want to go down 786, then you could do that. And this particular trade, right, went all the way down to the swing low, but that might not work with your investment and the potential loss if the stop loss is the hit. So again, I'm not going to go too much into detail about that. That's going to be your trading style is going to dictate that. How to identify less than ideal coins or the pump and dump. I wanted to throw this in here as well because going through the module, you are going to see situations where, you get a 100% spike and you're currently trying to catch what is only at a 25% retrace. And you're trying to get in there before it hits the 5 or the 618. Recognize these patterns, these pumps with the dumps, the pump and dump, pump and dump, pump and dump, pump. It's endless. What you can do is you can measure them for historical data, and let's say they all typically go to about the 786 or full retrace. This is something that you may want to skip. That being said, let's have a word on market cap and volume. All right, so low market cap coins, they can be widely erratic. On top of that, they can move violently even with little volume. All right, a large percentage of pump and dump coins live in that category. Volume, so the lower the trading volume, the less interest there is in trading that coin. And let's not forget, trading, a buyer needs a seller and a seller needs a buyer. If there's nobody on the other side, there's no liquidity and you're going to sit there and do nothing. So as a general rule of thumb, low market cap coupled with low volume is going to be a much riskier trade. All right. Now, before we get into the why, let's go through a few things here just live in it. One thing I do want to mention, refresh it. Okay. This is live action. It does pull, so there is just a tiny little bit of a lag. Forgive the slowness of my self-loading, but the stream is taking up taking up a few resources. Okay, so while you're in here, let's just say we just talked about market caps, and let's say you're just not interested in that. No problem. One click, and market cap sorted down. Right? These are the lowest market cap coins on Binance. But let's click it one more time. Let's say we only want to play some of the majors. Right? The list is right here. So if you want to sort by market cap, bang, it's right here. Right? XRP, EOS, Bitcoin Cash, Litecoin, Tron, XLM, ADA, the whole 9 yards. You can see the market cap right here. You can see the trading volume. Now, if you just want to see maybe what's trading the most currently, right? ETH BTC is actually the most trading volume currently happening on that pairing, ETH BTC on Binance. All right, sorting by peak gain. Okay, peak gain will give you, and within 7 days, so 7 days of data, right, we're looking at the peak gain of 46%. So we came up 46% within 7 days. Currently, we've given 32% of that back. All right, so the bulls got it up 46, and out of that 46%, right, the bears have come in and they chipped away 32% of it. They didn't take 100% of it, because then that would be right back to zero. They took away 30%. They took a third. All right, no big deal. If you want to sort by coin, let's say you're very interested in waves. So you click it, you can sort it backwards both ways. Right, bang, waves right here. Easy to find, no problem. Another really good feature that I like is sorting through the time frames. So I just want to know what's in a strong trend right now on the daily. So I'm going to click it, and then right here. Okay, it's just that easy. This not pulling up, 1,000 different charts, right? That's the beauty of this is the time saved, and the information is all right there in front of you. It's very easy to look at. It's very easy to say, okay, this is a coin I may want to look at. Wings right here, strong on the 5, the 15, and the 30, and it's sideways but with a bullish tone on the longer time frames. This might be something that is starting to make some noise. Starting to get a little bit of a rally together here. If that's something I'm interested in, I can look over and I can say, all right, well, it's a 7 million market cap coin. It does have 1,000 Bitcoins being traded right now in volume. That might be worth taking a look. You could say the opposite. You could say 7 million market cap. 1,000 is not enough for me to trade. I'm worried about getting filled, whatever the case may be, and you're out. That's a wrap. So you won't even have to worry about pulling up the chart. But you can say, okay, over here within a 7-day period on waves, we've gone up 24%. And we're sitting around the 44. So we've blown past the 382. So you lost support at the 382, right? And you're working your way down to the 50 or the 0.5. All right. So those are just real quick ways that you can use this to your advantage, and whatever your trading workflow is, however you dictate what you do before you start pulling some charts up. So let's get back over here. So why? Why do I use it? Well, I just kind of hinted on a lot of that. For me, the ultimate time saver. All right. Let's say you're only a weekend trader, and when you sit down on a Saturday or a Sunday and you want to get some trades going, everybody's been talking all week, all these coins have been moving, you want in on some of that action, and it takes you 5 hours to go through your charts to see if there's any good setups, to double check with the volume, to make sure that coin has liquidity, the whole 9 yards. And maybe you got to trade, and maybe you start looking at 10 a.m. Maybe you got to trade in by 6 p.m. Who knows how long it takes you? For me, I could take a look at this for about a half hour, 45 minutes. And in that time, not only am I looking at possibilities, but those are the charts that I'm pulling up. All right. Also, I've noticed quality trades. So earlier in trading, I may have seen what looked like a pretty good pullback. And even with price action on my side, I might say, well, let me go for it anyway. Not really fully embracing, let's say, the market cap or the trading volume for that particular pair. Well, this this keeps me out of those bad decisions. By knowing what the market cap is and the current trading volume on that particular pair, on this particular site, it really does make for some more quality trades. All right. And like I said here, right? So you only want to do high market cap coins, is one click, right? You only want to see strong trends on the daily, no problem. Okay. You want to sort all the coins with a current 50 to 65 retrace in a 7-day period, no problem. Go ahead, 7-day period, right? Let's just say you sort by the Fibo, right? And then from here you scroll down. So anything that's approaching the 50, you know, if that's going to be your first entry and you want to catch it before that happens, well, then you have the data right here that supports the retrace. You have your peaks over here that'll eliminate, you know, I'm not worried about a 6% increase and a 45% retrace. I want to see a pop of this, you know, 24, 25%, 271 million market cap, okay. You know, 15,000 Bitcoins being traded, right? So this looks okay. Let me take a look at the trend scanner, see what we're looking at. All right, so I can see right here we're sideways with a bullish tone, and currently on the 1 hour, we're showing a bit of a pullback. So this is a chart that could be a contender of something to look at, and let's do that. Let's just look at the chart. I got to double check the time that we're currently sitting at, but I feel like we should be fine. All right, so let's do that. So Waves BTC, Binance, give me a second. I had to kind of not 100% sure how the lag is going to be here, so let's bear with me. You know what I'm saying? Let's see. So Waves, yep, BTC, and we'll go Binance, and we'll take a look at this chart. So we are on let's go with the daily chart here. Okay. So we have the one daily chart, and we can take a look real quick. And so on the hourly is where we were seeing the sideways with a bearish tendency. So we're going to swing over to that hourly. Let's take a closer look. Let's pop that over into auto real quick, drop this down, and then we could see, you know, so the hourly is, right, it's working its way down. If you follow, you know, standard structure, cycles and structure, you're looking at, you know, a high, a lower high, a low, you know, lower low, a lower low, but now we're starting to creep back up, okay? Not enough for it to swing it out of sideways bearish, but it's enough for you to consider, well, you know, something's happening here. This is clearly a pullback of some kind, right? So we could take our fib down here, and we could say, well, what kind of pullback are we looking at? Let's say we went right to the peak there. All right, and that pullback is sitting right now just about on the 50. Okay, so this is something that you could take a look at. You know, this is real time. This is happening right now. But the reason why I got to this chart was based off of that module. Had it been just in my watch list under waves, and let's say I was in alphabetical order, this might have been on hour 5 before I ever decided to even start trading. So this is a setup. Now you can already see this spike happened here, right, and then came back down here. But we're looking in the hourly here, and we had set up on our Fibo for, I believe we were on 7 days. So 7 days on waves. And then we have that here. So waves, 7 days. So that's sort of what we want to take a look at, that peak, right? So let's get out of here for a second, and let's go over and let's pull up the weekly chart, and let's see what we're seeing as far as the peak is concerned. All right. So just this one candle is what we're focused on. Okay. We're on the weekly chart. We have the candle open. Okay. Now, on the larger scale, we can see a bit of a pullback here, a larger impulse move. Now, let's swing over to the daily. Now, daily will give us an idea of what's happening or what already happened. And that's what I think is key. This already happened. All right. So, you know, we can measure that out. We could say, okay, from, you know, here to here, this was up 157%. So clearly, if you were looking on a module and you had that set up for a 3-day, you would have seen a big giant pop in 3 days, at which point you would want to be focused on looking at that chart and are looking at that chart, having the module in place, and start looking for indications that there's a pullback coming so that you can see that pullback, right? So that you can get in on a potentially good trade. So if we lay this out here like so, we could see, of course, it's not exact, but bear with me here. You can see the pullback was to the 50. So if targets were set for 50, then you're in good shape. A full one retracement would have got you back to the top, which you did no problem. All right, and you can even measure that out to say, all right, well, maybe a 1618 is possible. So if you did want to do that, you could swing this puppy over here, swing this puppy over here, and then you got an idea of where you're looking at as far as targets, okay, or what could have been hit. Obviously, this is historical data, so but the way it came up, the 1618 was hit, not only hit, but that's where it stalled out a bit. It came up, it hit the 2618, it hit the 3618, and actually topped out of the 423. All right, so that's an idea of how you would use a tool like this. So out of the why, moving on. Other ways to use the scanner. This is genius. So what's happening here, you're looking at it in the reverse logic, right? You're looking for coins that are making lower lows, all right? And the reason for that is because of what we just saw on some other charts, right? An accumulation phase preceding a nice pop should get you in to that first move, which will be the first of, like we had on the RLC example. You missed the first one. Well, you missed the second one and you missed the third one. And now you're taking a look at maybe the fourth move. Well, that trend is kind of exhausted. You can hit these impulse moves on the way up. But if you catch that first one, or if you're notified about that first one, then you're in much better shape. So we say trend reversal can usually be spotted on the 3-day peak gain of over 25%. And you're looking for, you're looking for this, basically. You're looking for bad news bears. Oh, I'm sorry, I went the wrong way there. Right? So, lower lows, like everything is just a strong trend down, strong trend down, strong trend down. You can even see, so strong trend down. Ooh, we got a bit of a reversal over here. All right, so the 5 and the 15, not enough to push, the 30 minutes to the 12-hour out of its sideways bearish into sideways bullish, and not enough to take away from the 12 or the day. But we can start to see what's happening here. Now, we know within a 7-day period, we've only gone up 6% and a 40% retrace from that 6. So, this again, this keeps me out of opening that chart. There's just no need to. Want to take a look at one thing over here. Just want to double check. Well, I don't even see it, so I don't know. I don't know what to tell you with that. I was looking for something of importance here. Just want to make sure the time is okay. But we're wrapping this up. So I'll leave you with a few things, couple tips. Use it every day. All right. I would say use it twice a day, maybe even 3 times a day. The more you familiarize, right here, begin to familiarize yourself, the way trends are changing and how they're represented onto the module will really give you, that edge. It'll really give you that heads up, excuse me, that you're in the middle of a pullback. You've been watching this coin. You look at it every day. You know that it's been solid green or light green with dark green on the daily for the last 3-4 days. Now you start to see pink showing up in the 5 and the 15 and the 30, and you say, oh, well, maybe I got to take a look. We might be looking at a pullback. Something that you could short, maybe you're looking for a short opportunity. Something you could long and you're not in that trade yet, well, it might be time to take a look at that chart, say, all right, let me see what kind of pullback we're having. And if it meets my, trading philosophy or my trading standards, this is a trade I might want to get in. But what you didn't do, and this is the real bread and butter, right? What you didn't do is you didn't pull that chart up every day for the last 6 days and take all that time to cycle through the time periods and take a look at trend and do everything that you had to do prior to that. Now, I know an announcement has been made, but we want to talk about it anyway, right? That's Price Action Scanner is amazing. That's the first of more modules to come. So what's next? It's this right here. So RSI Scanner. This is just a development layout of what it's going to look like. So this is really cool stuff. Again, you got your time frames over here: 5 minute, 12 hour. Now this is going to be set up 70-30, I believe, from Go, and then I think they're going to give the option there for a 80-20, which is going to be real nice. So yeah, very, very, very cool stuff coming down the road. So the next webinar, like I mentioned earlier about the Fibonacci retracement, if you found this confusing, or when I mentioned the 5 or the 618, you got up and you left and you got another cup of coffee for whatever reason, we got your back. All right, we're going to do Thursday is what we have planned so far. We're trying to hit all time zones. All right, so it's very difficult. Obviously, there's a lot of time zones, and people live all over the place. So we're going to shoot for Thursday coming up. It'll be 8 p.m. Central Time, which is UTC -6. All right, we'll go over fibs, the basics, how to use them, what they are, what they represent, so on and so forth. I'm not going to go through it right now, but this is just an example. Perfect support at the 618, came up, 382 resistance, came down, 786 was support, bounced back and forth between the 618 again. Okay, so you get the idea. Anyway, that's Fibonacci retracements. That's going to be really cool, and we're going to be putting that in place this Thursday. We are looking to do Saturday and Sunday as well, or whatever day and time works best for most people. So, don't be afraid to throw that in the chat or hands raised. I'm working on the platform, all right? So take it easy. All right, where can you find Trading Room? So the app, if you don't already know, tradingroom.io or tools.tradingroom.io. But the site is filled, and actually just released more stuff, a news portion of Trading Room, which is super cool. So there's tons of information there. There's also a bunch of write-ups, real good write-ups, one on this in particular. So definitely check that out. Trading Room app is the Twitter handle. I'm assuming all of you already know that. That's probably how you found this. So that's good. We are recording the webinar. We're going to place it on YouTube. We'll have links on the website. All right. So you'll be able to get to it right from there. It'll just be nice and easy. For myself, my name's Chingas. My handle, ChingasX. I'm on Twitter, YouTube, BitTube, Twitch, Streamy. I do live streams often, and just breaking down daily candles, weekly candles, that type of thing. So, we'll see. And there's some educational materials there as well. So that wraps it up. Time is looking pretty good, I have to say. All that practice really pays off. So I have to go through, do some Q&A, all right? But I need an easier way to access said Q&A. So I want to be able to handle questions that you have here. So I got a little button here that says hands raised. I'm not exactly seeing what's happening here. So let me go to the questions list. Yeah, okay, we got some questions. Good. Let me scroll through these. Hi, is there a cost for this? No, there's not. No, this is. Yeah, did I fail to mention that? This is free, man. This is for the community, man. This is for the crypto community. Thank Trading Room for that. You put it all together and laid it out and had the training set up. Yeah, I mean, just use it. That is the big victory dance for everybody, is that it's used and that it helps you trade and make better trading decisions, and you're profitable in trading. Add this to your current trading strategy, or like me, massage your trading strategy. What I did was, I saved a ton of time. So for me, I was able to take a look at a lot more trades, whereas previously I was spending hours and hours and hours cycling through a bunch of different charts. So yeah, there's no cost. That's a great session. Narish, thank you so much. Can you please show an example of the trend, I guess, reverse? I think that's what it says. So yeah, sure. Let's look in the opposite direction. Let's look for a peak drop. All right, and we'll do let's do 3-day. Let's get some what happened recently. Go back over to drop here, and self-evo. I'm still getting used to it. It's totally normal. All right, so 3-day self-evo, and let's get peak drop going. Now, the only one that's at 20% or so, this is the largest drop, is GRSBTC. So we're going to pull that up. But before we even do, there's some more information here that we like to see, right? So it's a 14 mil market cap, which is not amazing by any stretch. 292 in trading volume. Personal opinion, I think that's pretty low. So we'll take a look at the chart, but you're going to have to cycle through the chart real quick and see, is it one of these pump and dump style of coins? And I don't want to get myself wrecked. And the current pullback, so we've dropped 20%. The current pullback, right, is 11%. So nowhere near targets or my personal targets in order to see that come down further, but certainly something to watch. And the trend, obviously, we can look at. So from the 4-hour to the daily, strong downtrend. Not as strong, 30 to the hour. 15-minute is showing strong downtrend. So what do we got? GRS BTC. No problem. GRS BTC, and we're going to Binance. Boom. We were on the 3-day of data, so we can take a look at what we have here. Okay. We could see, as far as the drop is concerned, we're looking over here. So 3 days worth of data, that means they're pulling this as action that happened, right? So if I were able to just approximately do something like this, just to get an idea of the drop here. So we're showing about 22%, which is identical to the module. Now from here, all right, so typically you would be looking for your swing low, your swing high, and then you'd be coming back, and that's for a buy. So it's just the opposite. We're grabbing our fib, we're taking our peak high, right, and we're going to swing that down to our low, right? So high to low, and this is what we're saying, right? From zero, we've pulled back, right? 11%. 11% is what we pulled back. Targets for something like this, personal opinion, I would like to see the 382 broke. All right. I would like to see it broke, and I'd like to get into the 5, the 618. If the 382 holds, right, and it acts as very strong resistance, I may be too late for the trade. That's a personal thing. Maybe it's just not worth the capital for me for that particular trade. I'd like to see it somewhere up here and then a pullback, and I'll couple that with a few other things. But while we're on the daily, I'll tell you what. Let's swing to the weekly, and let's get a larger picture here. So I want to see if this is one of those coins that I have to be worried about. All right. So obviously we can see some big swings in here. Let's swing back to the daily, and we'll get a cleaner picture of what may be happening. All right. So yeah, we a pretty large pump, dump, dump, but it was a little sideways. Another pump and dump, another pump and dump. This probably some kind of a fat finger, or who knows what was going on over there. And over here again, a pump and a dump. So for me personally, I may just stay away from this coin. But that is me. You need to, you make your own educated trading decisions. Let me swing back over here. Great stuff. Thank you, Tony. Thanks for the compliment. CD, thanks for the compliment. Ronan, thanks for the compliment. Refresh is fine, but any way to keep, I'm going to have to talk to the web people because that's all cut off. But here we go. Refresh is fine, but any way to keep the current selections. Oh, I know what you're talking about. Okay, so yeah, so you scroll down here and you're on, you're looking at RDC BTC, right? And then you're like, well, I want to refresh, and then I got to go find it again. I think that's what you're talking about. Base can. Am I saying this all backwards? Is it can base? Don't worry about that. If I messed up your name, I do apologize. Okay. I don't know if I'm supposed to be giving you this, but I think he's going to be okay with it. In development is watch list. So much like you saw on that RSI development screen, there was a watch list. Super cool. You're going to be able to put whatever pairings you want in there. So I think in the interim, what I would do is I get the information regardless of what screen I was on, and then I would just sort by the coin pair so that they're in alphabetical order, and then I would go find it that way. When the watch lists come out, this could be something where you could just easily add it to the watch list, and then bang, you'll have a section of just watch list stuff. So it'll be much easier to sort through. So I hope that answers your question, and I hope it's, don't bank on it, but that's, I believe it's coming. Thank you so much. Very informative demo. Thank you. It was 9 a.m. for me, so coffee, I live off this stuff. Dude, there are so many thank yous in here, guys. Thank you. First off, I think I said that in the beginning. I might not have, but really being here is, this is, I've said it on my Twitter. I've said it on some of my streams. It's just an amazing opportunity. So to be able to, help you guys out in any way that I can, trading room for collaborating. Well, not only making this, but allowing me to present it is huge, man. This is really huge. So to be in front of you people and to help you in any way, this is really cool for me. When for BitMEX, I don't have that information. Is this beta? No, this is it. This is out. This is out. Some of those screenshots were during development. Okay, but no, this is out. This has been out for, I believe, we're on day 4-ish. But yeah, you go to the site and use it. It's there. Apps are coming down the road. For now, it's just on the website. So you can use it on mobile, no worries. Let me pull this up here, but this will give you some screenshots for mobile, right? So this is how it looks on mobile. And that was a great question. It's a little bit different, right? So trend view, fib view, right? That's a little slider here. It's a little one click. So that'll get you out of, the trend scanner and into the fib scanner. All right. Of course, you always have your, dark mode, light mode, guys, your eyes, Binance, buy Fibo, D7. So all of this, oh man, can you believe it? Live on stream? That's not supposed to happen. Bear with me for a second. But anyway, yes, it is on mobile. There are a couple subtle differences. This one in particular, all right, you need to click that to get the additional information when you're in there, all right, and for the Fibo as well, okay? So that's something you're just gonna want to be aware of. And again, another one here, this is the Fibo page, right? So again, Fibo, you got your time. You can see you're selected on Fibo, and you're all set. Now, when you click down, now you can see the trend view, right? And you're in the Fibo section. So cool stuff. Let's see. Audio not connecting. What? That would be crazy. if I just found out now that you guys couldn't hear me. so hopefully that's not true. I'm hoping that all of that stuff was worked out early on, and maybe those are just some old messages. I think the module is awesome. Before the next webinar, meanwhile, can you recommend some learning tutorials for fib retracement and levels for beginners? For sure, yeah. So let's see, fibs. How did I learn fibs? Well, I learned fibs on stream through a Twitch stream. Super knowledgeable guy. He's over at CCTV. All right, gotta breathe for a second. But yeah, I think I'm not 100% sure. I think I might have a video on my YouTube for fibs. But yeah, we are going to do something on that Thursday coming into the weekend. But yeah, the resources that are out there, there's a couple really good ones. I'm trying to just place my head on a few. I believe Cred has a good one on fibs. No, for sure he does. And that might be something to look at. You could take a look at that on YouTube, and that'll give you an idea of what fibs are, what they mean, what the retracement is, how people use them, that type of deal. This tool is awesome. Many thanks. Can I beta the RSI? Well, you could send an email over. There's links on the website TradingRoom.io that'll get you into a feedback mode. And I mean, you can ask. There's never any harm in asking. Can I access this on my PC? Absolutely. Yeah, any browser. It doesn't matter. Opera, Brave, Chrome, Safari, Internet Explorer. Doesn't make any difference. Just make sure that that you get it in correctly. But there's links all over the place, so you're fine. Let's see. Oh, that's the next webinar. Okay. Okay. Please don't take this the wrong way, but there are so many scams out there. Hence the reason why I'm asking if it's free. It's free. It's free. There's no money involved. Look, you just go to the site. You're looking at my browser, right? Price action tools.traderoom.io. With a little pound sign there, but it'll automatically fill that in. Yeah. Use it. It's free. Trust. It's fine. Okay, you're good. No scams. I understand it's crypto, and we've had some rough days. All right, but no, you're good. Let's see. Do you think it's okay to apply these same trends to different trading sites, or is that a big no-no? That's a great question. So, as far as the pairing is concerned, that's on Binance, right? So the volume, the trading volume, right, is taken from Binance. The trend is also based off of Binance trading. However, if there's confluence is the wrong word, but if there's less arbitrage between Binance and say Bittrex or Huobi or Kraken or Gemini or whoever, then you should be able to see the trend just as you did on these. So the arbitrage was a big thing like a year ago. I think it's less of a thing now. And some of these coins are, like their trading volume is maxed on Binance, meaning that they have the most trading volume. So they're sort of dictating the trend. So I hope that answers your question. But in a short yes or no, yes, it should be fine. Just use a little caution. So let's see. What do we got here? Can you give a simple guideline? Buying coin for dummies, just a simple rule of thumb. Well, not only do I not totally understand that question, but it's not exactly the scope of this particular webinar. You can always hit me up and we could, we could talk. In which time zones does the system calculate basically when does the day start for the calculation? That's a great question too. From the way I understand it, it's real time. So it is now. So you're not looking at, how do I put this? So if you go to the daily, right, okay, so put it this way. If you go to the daily, you're looking at 24 hours of time, if that helps your question, regardless of what time of the day or when the daily close is. So it's not that you're looking at that daily candle, you're looking at a day's worth of trading. That's how the Fibo is live. So the Fibo is dictated, or that pullback or retrace is dictated based off of where, current price action is. So yes, I hope that helps you out there. So no time zones. Like for me, candle close would be 6 p.m., right? But that's irrelevant if I'm on the daily candle and it's 3 in the afternoon. Okay, so I hope that works for you. Yeah. So let's see. Thank you for the presentation. Great job. Thank you. Awesome. Can you give some good trading rules regarding the colors? I think I know what you're talking about here, and that goes back to what we looked at with that slide. And those are just some examples. How we said we had the 4x, right? So the 4x light was 4 light pink, 4 light green. That gives me the indication that there's a slight pullback happening, or at least one of the trends is about to take over. All right, but I would be looking for that same situation, but maybe have the daily dark green and maybe have the 5 dark pink. And then you got a more biased situation. I'm looking at the wrong screen. Then you got a more biased situation where you're in an uptrend on the daily that's strong, but you're seeing the pullback happen. And this way, if your peak gains are realized, if you hit that 20-25% threshold, so to speak, then you're able to capture that pullback and maybe put some buy orders in down on some fib levels in order to catch the next impulse move up. So I hope that helps. All right, we're overtime. We're in overtime. I know, it was a tie game. We made it all the way to the end, and then, we just kicked another field goal. So that wraps this up. Again, can't thank you guys enough for being here. Really do appreciate it. It's been amazing. I hope you understand it. I hope all your questions were answered. There should be areas to leave feedback. Do it. Good, bad, or indifferent, it's fine. But yeah, that wraps it up. So best of luck to everyone out there. Use it, explore it, share what you've learned from it, right? So go on Twitter, go wherever you are. And if you see a 8x box representation that worked out well, post it. Let everybody know so that we can collaborate together and, use this to our trading advantage. All right. So thank you very much. I'll see you guys on the exchanges, and I want to see some quality trades. Until then, happy trading.